Alright, what's going on, guys? This is just going to be a video kind of for myself. Well, it could be a blog as well. Basically, for the garage and seeing how far I come along with it. Bought this place a little over a year ago, and I just wanted to keep track of how it looked a year in versus how it looks down the road. This part's just going to be about the garage. But regardless, besides doing anything with it, it fills up with crap fast. But at first there was no door here, so I found a piece of board and some hinges that were left over, and I put them up there just to kind of keep some of the cold out of the house. As for the ceiling here, it was leaking when we first looked at the house. That's why all the buckets are here. And we went through a bunch of loops, and we wouldn't be able to get to the house without paying for somebody to repair it. And the previous owner said, "Oh yeah, we'll take care of that." They had somebody put new roofing up, and it still leaks. So that's definitely something that's got to get taken care of. And the mess of wires in this place is just kind of crazy. You can kind of see how they are now. And this is, keep in mind, all the wires that are out hanging. I took care of a lot of the dead ones because they weren't connected to the breaker box or anything for that matter. But recently I sealed up all the cracks. And if anybody's got any advice to give me, let me know, because that could have been a bad thing where I sealed up there because it's not letting airflow. But I got plenty of airflow. I got cracks all over the frickin' place. But as for right now, I got all my toolboxes and tools in here because this is the only spot where it's concrete. The rest of it's kind of a mess. This area here, there wasn't a door here, so I found an old screen door or a glass window at one point. There wasn't anything there, so I took a piece of scrap wood and just kind of screwed it to it. Somewhat of closure. Oh, there's some more of that wiring. Then there's outlets. They ran the wire all the way down to the floor, and there's random outlets that just go along the bottom of the floor for some reason. It wraps around, and it comes back up to that one. It's not really held on by anything. I haven't got to the point of insulating this, but the front porch over here, all of this is open. It was just studs. No insulation. There was just crappy old wiring in here. It looked like this section here, where it was just open. And you could see how the old wiring is. Eventually I'm gonna take out all the old wiring in here. It's just not needed. And then recently, this winter, it started leaking from the ceiling there. But eventually, the girlfriend wants to make this into a little sun porch reading area. I started working on it. Then other things happened inside of the house, and I just haven't got back to it yet. But the floor there, this is gonna have to get replaced. But I had to tear up the floor here. Then I went under and re-supported the floor and put insulation on the bottom side. Because under here is just dirt, there's nothing under here. Are you freaking out about, son? She has problems with shadows. Right, Pop? Come on. So, we'll go into the garage. And this is where everything is kind of old school. There was, I don't know, it doesn't look like anything was updated when I got here. But we got a little fuse panel here with the old style knob fuses. But for some reason, both wires that come into this don't have any power going to it. And there was another wire that came out of the bottom, and it ran up this wall and ran over here and had a couple of 2x4s screwed together right about where that ladder is, and was just sitting there. It wasn't screwed to anything. And they had the wire running across that with a old tube light right here, but nothing had power to it. Right here had a old sensor light like you would have outdoors. But back to this, none of the wires had power going to it. The only wire that has power is the one that's just sitting here. As for the walls, you could see a couple of weeks ago, I put this cable up, try to keep it from separating, because during the winter it started separating a little bit. I put this here so I could try to close the walls back up. I put another one right here along this beam. But before a couple of weeks ago, none of the, there was no bracing up here. You could see what there was before. These little pieces that went across. I just recently put all them up a couple weeks ago. And as for these three here, I wasn't able to get to safely with the ladder, at least. I'll have to figure out some way to put a couple more boards up on those three. Oh, don't forget the old window that just got covered up and insulated. As for this wire here, this wire kind of runs all over the friggin' place. Now, the outlets themselves, you can't really see it back here. Notice generator power only. Now you follow that back to the basement, and it's got a regular plug on it, like this lamp would over here. It's got a regular plug on it like that, but it does have a ground on it. And literally, it looks like they just plugged it into an outlet down there. So I assume they had a generator out here somewhere. Because when I first got here, I had that plug here. Another strand of that wire ran to that hole there. And that wire went down the side. You coming out? Down the side of the house right here. Just kind of wrapped over here. Came down and into the ground. Couldn't figure it out for the longest time. Until I started walking around the yard. And that wire led to the tree right here. And up the tree, and they had a board, a 2x4, right about here. Screwed into the tree with one of those sensor lights, like I said, was in the garage. And it had a plug in it. So I assume over here is where they had the generator. There's the back of the garage. It's got crappy siding on it. Eventually, that will get replaced. And you can kind of see up there that it's got old roofing. Eventually that will get replaced as well. Come on, pup. As for the rest of it, so as of right now, this bay closest to the house has no power going to it. So the other, which one is it? This black wire that comes out of the mess shoots over that way and down to a switch on that end. So no power here. It goes straight down there. We'll look at the garage doors quick. It's got old doors on it. See, there's a bunch of gaps. Previous owner decided to put asphalt for the flooring. And I figured that out the hard way when I tried working on the truck. There was a nice collection of dirt over the entirety of this floor when I came here. I brought the truck in, put it on the jack stands, swap out some tires. Then the next day I came home. The jack stands had fell through the floor and the truck was on the ground. You can't see it now, but I repaired it. The truck was leaning against this wall, kind of pushed this wall out. This is a window here. You can see when I was outside, there's a window here, and there's a couple of windows in the next bay over. Covered them up because in the winter, a bunch of the wind's coming this way, and it's just freezing in here during the winter. That black wire that I talked about comes down here, comes to this outlet, runs back up, runs back over there, and that's how you turn the power on in here. It is over here in this corner. You turn that on. And that's how you turn on the garage door openers for this bay and the next one over. And for right now, I just have a couple of lights plugged into the garage door plug. But, like I was saying, it's a mess in here. The next one's even more of a mess. It's kind of just collection right now. Got the lawnmower. Got this four-wheeler that my father-in-law gave to us for my son, so he could ride around on it. That's got a couple of things to get worked on. This one, before the first winter hit, and lucky me, it was the worst winter we've had in years. Brought this home, picked it up for $800 or something like that. It's an 87 Suzuki Quad Runner, 4x4. And it would start for a little bit, and it would just die right off. I kept pulling the spark plugs and they were covered in oil. Tore apart the top end. And I haven't got much farther with that because I'm having a hard time finding parts for it. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep looking for parts and fix it and use it, or I might just end up selling it like this. I still have all the parts for it. But here's a little look at the walls over here. All of these beams I just recently installed, try to give it some more structure. I'll end up insulating it because I'll end up putting the big tractor over here. This right here on the floor is a car lift. And over in the corner, we got the hydraulic portion of it. But this is the tallest section. I figured I'd put it in here, but We haven't got far enough to put proper power to that to set it up, and the floor would probably sink in. Oh yeah, I forgot about the loft. The loft right now is kind of where I'm keeping all the scrap wood. I don't know if you can see up in there. Let's see. I got a bunch of scrap wood and carpeting that was left here. Some insulation. But the plan is eventually fix up all the walls, kind of like I'm doing here. I am definitely not a carpenter. So if anybody sees problems with what I'm doing here, let me know. It'd be greatly appreciated. Because that board looks crooked, but I put a level on it. Level says it's good. Everything is kind of out of whack, so it's hard to keep everything straight. But both garage doors, they both have gaps up there. They did have gaps on the sides, but I put rubber stripping on the side. Gotta help keep the wind out. See, the bottom is uneven with the floor. The doors, when I got here, were all falling apart. That was another part, along with the roof down there. That needed to get fixed before I could purchase the property. So they ended up just kind of pushing the door back and bracing it. But it is my first house. I guess I'll learn what to look for and what to not do. This door as well. You can see outdoors. And they got a mess going everywhere. There's a bunch more wires. There's more wires over here to a plug. They got an old school grinder, bench grinder, another light. There's a wire that runs up here to this old light. This is the style light that was hanging in the middle here. But that wire has no power to it as well. Then this is the collection area, I guess. Just a mess of random parts and toys. My toys, my son's toys. But this looks like the newest add-on of the house, because this is the outside. If you look underneath the yellow siding, this is what it all used to look like. They just put that yellow siding over that. This one does have another garage door opener. You can see foundation is uneven with the flooring. They had to do the same thing here with the bracing of the door. And then you can see I put the rubber stripping there. Garage door opener over here. Just kind of hanging by a nail. More wires coming through the wall. Eventually, I think I'd like to put a man door here, so you don't have to walk all the way down there, neither out the front door or that back door to leave the garage. I mean, I know I could use the garage doors, but if it's in winter, it'd be nice just to open and close the man door. That's the Kubota BX24 that I picked up about a month or two ago. It's been working pretty good. Put the lights on there. At some point, There's a nice chimney here. It would be nice to have a wood stove in here, because they got the nice concrete block and everything for it. They had old, probably can't see it right now, it's still in the back there, chimney that comes off the back of the stove and into the chimney. But it looks like it's separating. It's got the old ceramic in it. Eventually it'd be nice to be able to use this again. Get another wood stove. They left some old stuff here. Windows, they're cracked open. Eventually it'd be nice to replace them. Old window there. Got a bunch of benches in here. In the back corner, can't really see it behind the fender for the old truck, but you can see it kind of indents here and it just gradually gets deeper. There's an open tube that just spills out into the yard, so if you have water runoff, it could just go down this channel and outside. It'd be nice for a detail bay or something like that, cleaning up cars. Loft up here, well, kind of. There's a bunch of boards and insulation up there. The insulation here, just foam board, but behind it's all empty. No real outlets or anything like that. If you come over here, this outlet was burnt right out. Replace that. Same thing with that one. That black wire that we were looking at on the other side with the bench grinder comes through the wall next to the window up here to that junction box. Back up there, and it just kind of loops back around. And I think it goes to that outlet. Oh no. It's kind of bunched up right there, and it follows this. But the electrical's a mess. The floor's asphalt. Not really good for bringing cars in. Or at least lifting them up, that is. Garage doors are junk. A lot of work to be done in here. I think the plan of attack is for the floors is just doing one bay at a time. I'm gonna kind of get this insulated, at least this side, from this wall to that wall. Nice and insulated so I can keep the tractor warm, so it doesn't gel up during the winter, because it is pretty drafty in here. I know it keeps it out of the wind pretty good, but I just want to make sure it's going to work good. As for this is the gas tank for the Tundra, sitting out there. Went to the dump last weekend, shut it off, threw out the garbage, went to hop back in it, started up, nothing. Turns out, fuel pump was junk. And it looks like the control module is going bad as well. So I'll make another video with parts that'll be cheaper than going to the dealership, or it's really not that bad. If you got a couple of floor jacks and a piece of wood, you could do it right at home. I just did it out in the driveway. But as for now, like I said, this is kind of a video for myself. Anybody can watch it. It's just gonna save storage on my phone for not having a big video. Well, anybody can watch it. If anybody's got Alright, sorry about that. It was the mail lady. Dropping off tools for work. Like I was saying, if anybody's got comments or advice on what I could do to this place, let me know. It is in rough shape. I don't know if I'm gonna, probably won't be here forever, but it'd be nice just to get everything fixed up. Better resale value, and hopefully somebody else later down the road doesn't have to do all this work and they could enjoy a nice garage. But I will continue. I'll probably do video every once in a great while about things I've done to it, how it's looking later down the road. Alright, anybody that did decide to watch it, thank you very much. Say bye, Pop.